Yeah, what's up, YouTube boxing family? It's K right here. I'm back at it once again, and I'm here with another great fighter by the name of Agnesa, KiraKosian, right? Like,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Agnesa KiraKosian. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, she's a professional fighter, and I just figured I'd bring her on to chop it up on some boxing and talk about her career. So, just tell the people who you are and how'd you get into the sport.
Hey, Agnesa KiraKosian. I accidentally got into the sport. Like I always say, I didn't like go look to be in boxing. Like I feel like I always say like boxing chose me. Like I was in Glendale Community College trying to figure out like what I want to do. I was an art major, and then I kept passing by and they had a boxing club, and then it looked fun, it looked interesting, and then they asked me like if I want to join. And then as soon as I do like my first punch, I started to train. I was just thinking to myself like, why didn't I do this sooner? What the hell was I doing before? So that's how I got into it. And oh yeah, I have like I mean 7 professional fights in boxing and one bare knuckle fight. I just won my last fight in Dubai. It was in the 18th, so barely recovering. My knuckles are back, so it's a little swollen if you can see, but
Wow, that's insane. Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, first of all, I just have to say, much respect to you. You're a absolute great natural talent, definitely on the raw side. That's why that I wanted to bring you on to get your perception of like why this sport chose you, because I think like a lot of people don't want to be honest with themselves of like how they actually got into boxing, and I think like for certain people of your caliber, that's a very interesting, backstory to have because actually even for like a for of like as far as like what I used to do, like I used to wrestle back in high school, and I actually I did pretty good back in high school with only 2 years worth of experience, and after I had finished high school, I actually got like a very good with boxing over here in Albany in upstate New York, and I actually ran into a very good I guess a former fighter. I believe his name is Tony Marshall, and
Nice.
he used to be a pretty good fighter back in his day. He used to train with I believe Mike Tyson with his team for 9 years, and I just naturally got like accustomed to his skills and his training. And I actually ran into some other fighters that trained over at the Albany Boxing Gym right up on Quail Street. I don't know if you know guys like Abraham Nova, J.A. Brown. He's a up and coming fighter, but those people definitely got me interested for boxing. And I think as far as like what you put out there, that's like a very interesting component because not a lot of people would really say that, as far as how boxing chose them.
Yeah, 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 like whenever people ask me, I'm just like I keep thinking because I'm like I didn't know how I could just like I could go to a boxing gym. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't really like I knew I always liked like combat sports. I always liked sports in general, but I didn't like go out there and be like, "Oh, I want to go to a boxing gym." But I did see like another girl fighting, and I remember like always like thinking to myself, "Damn, like I want to do that. That looks cool." But I didn't really like go out there and be like, I'm gonna go to a boxing. It was kind of just like kind of like an accident, not an accident, yeah, like an accident, like destiny. Like, and it was weird because that day, they kept sending me back and forth from like they were like, oh, you need to go fix this for like classes, and then they were like, we go there, and they're like, no, you have to go back there. They kept sending me back and forth, and I kept crossing that field, and I kept looking at them, and they're like, hey, do you want to come join? I was like, what is it, a club or a class? And they said a club, and I was like, okay, then I'm down because I already had like 5 classes, so I couldn't take another class. But then yeah, when I was always an athlete, like I did track and cross country in high school. And then like when I always had it in me, like as a kid, like you said, like you were like a natural like wrestling, right? Like if my high school had wrestling, I would have definitely done it. But that I just did running because of my brother. Because my brother, and it was my running was another kind of like accident type, not accident. My brother was the one that was like, you should do cross country and track. I was like, why? Like when I was in middle school, I would be like, I can't wait to get out of middle school so we don't have to run this stupid whatever rat race we do, you know? But then whenever I went to high school, I just like joined with him, and then I met a bunch of cool people after like the first 2 weeks was torture, and then I started to like somewhat like it or whatever. So I'm glad I did that because that was like my base for boxing, because mentally running like cross country and track, like it makes you really tough like as a person, and just like those workouts are like really hard. So it's like boxing workouts, like they're hard too, but it was like I've already been through hell. Like this is actually fun because it's like it's easy to be competitive for me when someone's like throwing punches at me. But if they're like running by, I'm like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no threat there, but that's why I feel like combat sports was like that's what I yeah, like I go well with that. I don't know how to I just yeah, but anyways, just combat sports. Like I always liked fighting. I always like I was always fighting with my brother when we were growing up. And then I was always the type that like if you say something mean to me, I never had a comeback for you, but I would like get up, like I would start like fighting you like physically. So ever since like first grade, I was fighting, and like you know what I mean? Like but not like it was more like hair pulling, but
Yeah, that's a very interesting backstory. For me, like I was never really like that. I was actually pretty defensive as far as like self-defense goes, but um, I will say like, heading into the stages of teenage years in high school leading into now, like, wrestling definitely got my naturalized, skill set, in which I already knew how to fight because I used to do taekwondo on top of that, because like
yeah.
my parents got me into it. But I will say like, once I saw like my natural talent of like what I was good at, um that's what, transferred me over to boxing and other combat sports. But I also wanted to just like follow up with that as far as I guess that the skill set goes. Like, did you see something within your compounded like abilities that gave you, the drive of what you're doing now to say this is something where you could, potentially become a world championship level fighter?
Yeah, I mean, whenever like I did start, like when I first started like boxing, like at the community college, I like I my first thought was that I knew that I wanted to compete like ASAP. Like like my goal was to compete. Like that's why I was doing it. And yeah, my goal in the back of my head was to actually like be a professional, like, but that was my like secret little goal. Like, and then yeah, I did it like when I first like threw my punch, I could like everyone was like, whoa, and I had power, so that helped. And then I had like endurance, stamina because of running. um and then yeah, like I always had that like fighting mentality, and it's been growing ever since, and like just been going, the stuff that I've gone through has made me a fighter too. Like I had to like fight through a lot of like stuff like personally. So and then I just felt like life itself was like a motivation to fight, you know, because there's so many things that I wanted to fight against that I couldn't. But this like being in the ring gave me that I could fight, you know what I mean? Like I you know like there was a lot of things that I couldn't fight back in, like yeah. But then boxing gave me that edge that I can, like a superpower kind of thing. Like so I just put all I channeled like all first it was like I started off with like anger, then now it's passion. But like I said, I don't have that anger anymore. But before it I was driven a lot by anger and rage. So I kind of like channeled all that into boxing. And I don't know, I always had that belief in myself that I was gonna make it. Of course there's been times that I was kind of like I doubted myself a lot too, but like I always had that, like I wanted to be that example, like to be like that girl that I saw, like Susie Kantikian. She was also a world champ Armenian
Yeah.
girl, so I
Oh
wanted
my
to
God.
that too. Yeah. So
Yeah, I will give you the fair warning. Like, I'm a huge, female boxing, fan, and I've been, watching women's boxing like ever since I was like a little kid, and I can name like all the fighters like right now, that
Yeah,
I've been watching, but I will say the better natural raw talents are always like my favorites to watch rather than those that are coming from the amateurs just to say, oh, well, I got medals and I have this. But I think honestly, like for a person of your caliber, that's more interesting of a story to come from something from nothing to create a good outcome that could potentially be good. And I think for women's boxing, what's being failed out of it is that you don't have more of those Sean Porters of the world. You don't have more of those Errol Spencers of the world. You don't have enough Gervonta Tank Davises of the world or Shakur Stevensons. Like you basically just have like a very limited, one of like a kind type fighters. And I think that's what's really wrong, with that, lack of skill gap of talent. Because if you did have like a massive population for it, um, I think the matchmaking would be way better and the marketization would definitely fluid itself a lot faster.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I wish I started sooner. Like I wish that like my family put me in boxing when I was little. Like I always think about that too. So thank you for saying that, cuz it's like I'm like, damn, I wish like I would have been so sick right now, you know? But it's like and then I think about it, I'm like I would probably be in jail or something. Like I would have probably like you know what I'm saying? Like if I got into all these fights and stuff and then I mean, I don't know, who knows. But yeah, it's just yeah, I feel like I do have the talent, but the talent's not enough. Like I still work hard, like very hard, and I feel that because I didn't start younger, I have that like damn, I missed out. Now I gotta like put in even more work just to catch up to all these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, that God given talent is there. Thank God, you know, there is power in like both of the hands, and I'm just like a student of the sport. Like I'm learning every day, and I'm learning that it is a selfish sport. Like it is like you kind of have to be like obsessed, but like also have balance. Like I don't want to be too crazy, but I am kind of like, damn, you know what? Like I can't do this and that and this. You know, I did have like one loss, and that like kind of like it was kind of like my mind wasn't there like that fight, because I was thinking about my other fight. Like I was like, why am I here? Why am I here? Like I kept thinking that because I went back to Mexico to fight one more time, and I already had a fight scheduled in Dubai, and I had like a stomach flu too. But yeah,
Oh,
but
wow, that's terrible.
yeah, and then even like the Dubai fight, I fought on a sprained ankle. I sprained my ankle like running. I went running, and then I twisted it, and then and I literally was walking like a zombie a few days before, like literally like right after. And then everyone was making fun of me, like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna go and fight in Dubai." Yeah, like even my dad, he was like, "Yeah, sure, sure, you can go support your friends." But I was like, "Nah, I'll like I was icing it and like elevating it, and then like obviously like I was praying, and then the day before like the fight, like I was just like everyone was going out in Dubai walking around. I couldn't go through that. I was just in my room like you know like just trying to ice it, trying to get better. I didn't even know like how I was gonna like perform, because I was like, what if I go on stage and my ankle just like goes like this, or I don't know. But the adrenaline like took over, and I won, so it was good. Like it was kind of like I had to win to get that momentum back because of the last loss.
Yeah, like that's kind of similar to what happened to me back in wrestling. Like I actually screwed up like I want to say like my ankle the day of like my match because what happens is, at like the high school level here in America at least, like you have to, weigh in day of, like your match. So what happens is that when you're getting ready, you have to also get prepared. So I
Yeah,
was getting ready for like a match that I, unexpectedly got hurt, and then I was like, okay, well, this is gonna suck because like my ankle felt like a little bit weak, and
yeah,
once I got in there, like I didn't even feel it, but I was still feeling the aftermath pain of
yeah,
like what I went through, and that's what's really scary because it's like, you know, I will say like it's like going through like a war, like an actual military scale war, but it's like your mind is like being channeled in like different directions. So I think like that's not the scariest part of like you going through that mindset of you not wanting to go through more damage, but then on top of that, it's like a really how should I say it's a very unexpected battle that you have to try to like a combat.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So I'm still healing right now. I'm still like I'm still not 100% yet. So I'm taking a little bit of a time off. I'm hoping to fight again in June. So I'll probably start training again mid-April. Um, Hopefully I get that fight in London, bare knuckle again though. So
Yeah, speaking of bare knuckle, do you plan of trying to like expand over to BKFC or any of those major platforms, right?
yeah, I mean, right now I'm in BYB. I have a contract with them, so I have to do 3 more fights with them. I would sign like a 4-fight contract, but I mean, let's see what happens in the future. Um, I might like go back to just boxing or stick to bare knuckle. I have to, weigh my options and see what the proposals are, and then you know, I'll go from there. Because it is a hard sport. It takes a lot out of you, like a little more than boxing, I would say, like to recover. And then I kind of did back-to-back fights, so that wasn't helpful either. It was like 22 days right after I fought. I keep doing that, but I'm gonna try to not do that anymore. Even my other one that we did, it one in Mexico, and then 20 days after, I fought again in USA. So I was just like, what am I doing? I need to calm down. But yeah. And
Yeah,
then like,
well,
sorry.
oh no,
Go
no, no, like I was going to I say something, but I'll let you finish. Like I'm sorry.
Yeah, I also like had to battle like some health issues like throughout that. Like right after my fight, that the other fight I had my appendix ruptured, and then I had like a bowel obstruction like in December 2022. But I'm back fighting, so that's good. I was like in the hospital for like 14 days. I went from 120 pounds to 106 because
Wow.
they didn't feed me anything because they had to like put a tube down my nose and like they had to like extract everything for a whole week. So I was just like, damn, this is so annoying. Like I just want to go train. I'm just like in a bed. It was whack. But I'm just so happy and blessed to be back and able to like fight again. I already had 2 fights after that. Like that was in December 2022, and then I already had 2 fights now.
Yeah, that's some very valiant effort because that's kind of similar of like what oh man, like I forgot what one fighter did that, but I want to say that was Ugas or that had to been at least I forgot what the other fighter that broke his hand, but he ended up winning.
Damn. I think I wait. Who was that?
Yeah. Like I'm trying to figure it out, but it'll come back to me.
Wasn't it Hagler? No. Or was it recent?
It was like a recent in the past, but
Oh,
like I was trying to like compare that to say like for people that do that that actually want to be successful, that's like a really I should say credible way of like you persevering and being successful in your endeavors of wanting to become a championship level fighter. But
there's
yeah,
so many like battles that we like face that nobody really like knows about. Like you know what I mean? Like it's like you go through. It's not just a fight. Like you have to win all these little battles until that fight. You already like it's like you go through so much. It's like you have like in that camp, I had like my back what got messed up, and then you have to train like that, and then I was doing these random stretches that my friend told me to do, Dr. Jess. But anyway, so like, and then the whole ankle thing, and then even before the other fight, I had uh the stomach flu, and then like there's never been a fight where it's like, yeah, I'm fully healthy, maybe like one, And then another one, like I was in the warm up, I messed up my wrist, so I had like one hand. But it was cool because I got her with a liver shot with this one, and the fight was over. But I was just like, wow, okay. But it's weird, like so many things could go wrong until that day. But I'm learning also, like, okay, like don't eat sushi. Obviously, that was obvious one, but I did it anyways. Like I always like learn the hard way, kind of. And then the like don't run on the gravel. Now I'm like, okay, like I'll run on the treadmill when it's close to fight day. You know, like little things, but it's like you never know. Sometimes you can't really prevent it. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that fighter that came to mind was Keith Thurman. He actually fought
Oh yeah, yeah. With
Josecito.
Manny Pacquiao, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The Josecito Lopez fight, he broke his hand, or he had his wrist, ruptured along with his hand, and then the Manny Pacquiao fight was up the same way, but he was still actually like, game in that fight. But I mean, for people like that, in your department of what you go, like what you went through, that's a lot more credible to say that you're battling through all the battle wear and tear, and you're doing whatever you have to do to be successful. But
Yeah, I actually met Keith Thurman after that fight.
oh, nice.
Yeah, through a friend. Like he's another boxer, Clarence Booth, and then
Oh
we
yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
yeah we all hung out like at the Venice Beach, and he had a cast on his hand. And then I was just trying to like pick his brain and all that. It was cool. He's a cool guy. They're both cool people.
Yeah, hopefully he can come back, because I want to see him fight Spence, or at least fight somebody good in the welterweight division.
Yeah, hopefully he probably will.
Yeah. Let's talk about, like, as far as women's boxings go. What do you think that is missing in the sport? Because I think right now women's boxing is doing great, but the problem is just consistency. Like, people want to try to trash on promotional agencies not doing their job for
Mhm.
women's boxing, but I think honestly, like, it's really just trying to market it, but you're marketing it to let the wrong group of people, which I would believe it would be let the men, but it's not like more women, because I want to say from my own past experiences, because I've been to three boxing fights,
Mhm.
it seems like more guys were naturally accustomed to going to a fight versus more females. But I wanted to get your point of view. Like, if you had all the power in the world with, a lot of financial gain to
Mhm.
help or fix female boxing, like, what would you do to make female boxing be on the same path
With the
with men's boxing?
Well, the first one that would be like the most obvious is maybe make it 3 minutes instead of two, just to make it more equal. You know, like if, but obviously they would have to get the same pay. Like they're not gonna like you know what I'm saying. We're not gonna fight and then get less and do more. But yeah, like I feel like right now they're starting to do like the main like how they did the Serrano like versus Taylor, you know. So they're making those big fights happen. And then also Mayer versus Baumgartner, that was good too. And then Marlon Esparza and Sinisa Estrada, like how they fought, those were good fights. I want to see the second, you know, or the third of those fights. That's good. Like, but that was like selling out too, and I just feel like more of the best should be fighting the best type thing, which is happening more in the women's than it is in the men's. You know what I mean? Like they're like dodging each other and this and that. But not everyone, just some. Um but yeah, maybe I think you're right. Like I think the advertisement, like you're saying they're advertising it to women instead of men, or I don't know. Maybe they should like advertise it differently. It's just that people that are already on top, like um they're like, how do I like say this? I don't know. I don't feel like they're that like some of the people that have been on top fought like whatever people, and they're just on top like holding belts. So I'm glad that the people that are way better than them, like that are up going, like Cindy says, she just beat Tina Rubrick, and she's getting those belts, and that's who should have it the best. And I think like Cindy says one of them. And then it's just hard because now like you can see like women that are coming up, but we're not gonna get those fights. Like who know? I don't know if we're gonna get those fights. You know what I'm saying? We're still building up our record to get there. Um, I mean, I don't know. There's just so many better women on the bottom too, and finally the I don't know if I'm saying. Am I saying it right? Does this make sense? Is it making sense to you?
It's making sense, but I'm going to comment on it after you finish.
Okay. But yeah, it's starting to get there. I don't know what we can do. What can like maybe mix it up more, put more fights and male fights together. It's not just like one fight or two fights. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of like make it more even, like that would help maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
All right. Here's my rebuttal to that. What you're saying is a very good idea, but you have to think about marketization. Obviously, with supply and demand, that's a big component in any form of economic variance. But I think if women's boxing wants to be, obviously it's not going to be on about the same path with like men's, but I think if it can easily skyrocket and it can definitely burn fire to create like a massive market, I think when there's a will, there's like a way. But
Yeah.
I think honestly, minus sanction bodies and corruption, bad actors in the sport, I think there should be more tournaments in boxing. I think there
Mm,
should be like a kind of like a Tekken style King of Iron Fist type tournament where you get your opportunities a lot faster, but you're going through like the whole gauntlet in your division. Because what gets me upset is that why am I paying money to go see a fight where we already know who's going to be like the favorite in that fight, beating on a low level guy? So
yeah.
like I'll use, a guy like I'll use like Emiliano Vargas. Like he's a very good fighter right now, but why can't we see a fight between him and Abdullah Mason right now versus like saying, oh well, they're on top rank right now, but we're gonna hold that out for at least 2 to 5 years from now before they fight. But people don't know what's going to happen in their careers 2 to 5 years from now. Abdullah, he could easily get himself hurt and he could easily be out of the sport forever. And same thing with Emiliano Vargas. But I think how matchmaking should be is that you are matched up with contemporaries every time you fight, and you matched up with people with winning records and people that are closer to your record to make up the fight more even, because I think that's what draws a bigger crowd. Because even with this last good fight that happened with David Benavidez and Caleb Plant, most of those fights were 50-50 fights. Like people weren't expecting certain outcomes to happen. So I like I truly believe that if you had it set up like that in boxing, where we could see Agnesa going up against, I don't know, Marlon Esparza, you know, in her career, before Marlon ever touched like a belt, like that would be more interesting than just seeing some woman off the street just to come in just to grab like a check. But I just think like that's what's being missing in the sport right now, because you're not selling good matchups. Because if you're having bad matchups where you're just feeding that to like the casual public, which I don't think that's like a massive population of them, that's what's really killing off the popularity, because you're not getting your shine, but all these other hyped up ladies are getting their shine. So how is that fair? I should be paying money to go see you fighting up against the best opposition. So I would say
Right.
that's, yeah. Like I was just gonna finalize to say I think that's like the best route to revolutionize that path for female boxing.
That's a good idea. And then also like when you were saying like tournaments, I was thinking like you know how they did like a contender or for the men, like they should do that for the women too, like a show
Oh
or something.
yeah, PBC can easily do that. Like
And then
you
the
see it
winner
all the
fights the
time.
best or something like that. Like let's say like the winner could go and fight the best. That way it's like you're kind of selling the fight already and you're getting people to know these other fighters too. Like I feel like that way, instead of yeah, like you said, just bring someone to get a check, then it will be someone who's actually has a skill set that they let's say they won a game show or a tournament or something like that. That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think what the reason why tournaments is better is because like for sanctioned bodies, they're obviously going to politically discriminate you, regardless how favorited you are to be a good championship level fighter or not. But it's very disrespectful to all the other fighters around the globe that are trying to get their shot, and they have to go through tooth and nail just to get a good decision win, or
Yeah.
good, significant victory, just to get back on the world title conversation. And I think that's very disrespectful because if you're constantly fighting the best contemporaries in your division versus other fighters that are not doing that, that are choosing to take the elevator rather than taking up the stairs to be certified, that's very disrespectful to your hard work. Because if you're beating up on some heavy loaded opposition while these other top 10 fighters or top 25 fighters are just fighting bums and they're getting away with it, like I'll even use like a guy like Jaime Munguia. He does like the same thing. Like he goes out of his way fighting guys that people never asked him to fight, but yet he's still number one through the WBO, or I forgot what other sanctioned body it was. But people like that should be taken out of the division. If you're not choosing to fight good opposition, but you're choosing to fight good opposition and test yourself to be like the best, then that's why tournaments should be set up instead of having sanctioned bodies. Because I think when you think about it, if you're beating the best competition in these tournaments, you get more money. That should be like another thing. And then on top of that, more sponsorships and more marketization influences can come in to support your career faster.
Right, right. No, I agree. That's true.
Yeah, but I think either way, like I hope you become a very good fighter, and like I'm definitely looking forward to your next fight. I think you're a very good talent. But as far as like what you're trying to do to get there,
Mhm.
what are your goals as far as like trying to dominate? Like on your path of becoming champion.
Thank you. I appreciate it. First of all, um, right now I'm just trying to just get better. One fight at a time. Like just learn as much as I can. Uh, Watch a lot of like boxing. Watch like learn like just mentally grow as well. Like be um like a positive person. Sometimes that's hard to. I'm just I right now it's like that's like all the stuff that you said about like boxing. It's just like for me, I was getting impatient. It's taking forever, like because I have to rack up a bunch of wins just to be able to get like a promotion to take me on. You know what I'm saying? Like so it's like I haven't had that yet. So it's like I don't know. I think they want a lot of fights under your belt, so I have to just keep fighting. But that's why I kind of did go into bare knuckle as well, because I'm like, you know what, like this is paying me more now, and yeah, you might get hurt more, but it's like at least like I'm stepping out. Like what I was like, I never thought in the whole world that like my first pay per view fight would be a bare knuckle fight. You know what I'm saying? How long would it take me to be on pay per view if I was just doing boxing? Maybe like 2 more years, another year. I don't know. And it's like, and that's why a lot of fighters do go to Mexico because not because of the fights are not easy. First of all, unless you go fight bums. I didn't like I fought girls that like were actually like winners and like they were actually hard fights, harder than here, some of them. Anyway, so that's why we go over there. We like to rack up wins, not to rack up wins, but just to get your, like add more fights, because over here it's like it's really hard because it's like let's say you if I get a fight in the US and I have to sell a certain amount of tickets, like I have to stress about so many things, like and you don't even get paid anything, like basically like it basically covered my medicals. And I was just like, really? So that's why I started going into bare knuckle, and I'm just trying to build a fan base, and bare knuckle kind of lit a fire under my ass, like because it's like, damn, like this is real, like this is like bone to bone, like I have to get better. I have to like not get hit, and it's gonna help my boxing too. It's gonna transfer to boxing, which is it's the same thing, with except without gloves. So for me, it's like I never had like I never have like a road, like a straight road. So it's like I'm honestly like just trusting God with my career and just doing what I can, and then just taking whatever opportunity that I feel like that comes my way that is reasonable. And yeah, like I'm just gonna keep like gaining more fans and becoming a better fighter, and just working my ass off. Um, yeah, being the best that I can be with each fight. Like hopefully the next fight I'm not injured or anything like that. And then but either way, I'm just you're gonna see a different Spitfire, because that's what it is about me. If you watch any of my fights, like it's like all of them are different. Like every time I feel like I look like a different fighter. So it's like that's why I am like Spitfire. So it's like who knows what you're gonna expect next. It's always gonna be like crazy, it's always gonna be like ferocious. But I'm hoping to have like a better ring IQ, and just have more setups. And then I want to work on more like knockouts. Like I want to have more knockouts, but this time I don't want it to be like a knockdown. I don't want the girl to get up. And I know like the girls that I fight, because it's like they just made a 115-pound division in bare knuckle. So it's like some of the girls are bigger, so that's why it's kind of harder to like knock them out completely. Like if they were like they're a lot bigger than me, but you're gonna like see more excitement, speed, power, like obviously. But yeah, I'm just gonna like keep doing what I'm doing, and you know, uh, take every opportunity that comes my way. That is like reasonable. But yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that. I was gonna dive in deeper with like what weight classes are you campaigning at, and theoretically like what divisions do you want to try to conquer, for like bare knuckle or boxing. But as far as like your team goes, like who are you with and who are you training with to like bring yourself to that, advanced level?
Yeah, right now I'm training with AJ Eastley in San Pedro, Savage Squad. So yeah, I'm training with him. He's a really good bare knuckle coach. Um, like the divisions, they just created a 115-pound division, and that's probably the lowest. Hopefully they'll make a 112. Because me right now, even right now, I'm like 113. But for boxing, I've fought in 118, 115, 112, but now I'm thinking like, dude, like these 115-pound girls, like when I fight 115 in boxing, like I see them the day of the weigh-in, and then I'm like, oh, okay, like we're the same size, okay, cool. The next day they come like I swear I don't know what the hell they did, but like I'm like, dude, is that the same person? Like they blew up. I'm just like, dude, this is ridiculous. Like I need to go down more. So I'm thinking like I might go down to 108, 105 even. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I've been fighting like too many big girls, and I just think that everyone's like going down from like 125, 130, and I don't know how they're like cutting so much. And me, I was being honest to my weight, and that's kind of stupid on my part because everyone's cutting, and so I might just cut too, and maybe go down to 105, 108, 112 instead of like pushing like I was fighting 108, 118, like the hell. But yeah.
Yeah, I just find that to be insane because, at least in wrestling, you have to weigh in day of your match. And there's no way you could ever try to like balloon up to like 130 something odd pounds when you're supposed to be wrestling at like, I don't know, like 108 or 107. Like I just hate it when people just do that, and it like obviously like it's important to rehydrate, but you shouldn't be able to rehydrate all that weight just to be bigger than your opponent. Because obviously like people want to make the argument to say like, obviously in big fights between A side, B side, you should have that advantage. But the thing is like if you had it set where you could rehydrate to a certain limit, in which like I'm not always in favor of like rehydration limits, but I just think like the thing is just that if I'm fighting at 160 and I know my opponent, he's not a natural 160 pounder. He should be fighting at like cruiserweight, if not borderline light heavyweight. But if he has to cut all the way down from like 195 just to make 160, and then on fight night he's coming in at least 175 or a buck 80,
It's
there's
crazy.
something wrong with that. Because it's like for me, like I'm a heavyweight, but it's like you know, every time when I hit hard, because I have like heavy hands, like I can tell where those punches are being landed. But looking at guys that are coming in bigger on fight night against guys that are smaller, it's like showing to you that they're not really that big of a puncher. They have to like pack more weight on to like pretend as if they are punching hard. And I just don't like that. And I think honestly, like boxing should probably experiment doing what wrestling does to come in day of your weigh-in for your
Mhm.
fight and see if that makes like a difference, because at least that way, you can't get those guys trying to say like, oh well, I had like a bad camp, blah blah blah. Like no, like if you're not a natural 135 pounder and you're supposed to be a 154 pounder, then stay at 154 and come in at 154 on fight night, not do it like a day before. Because I just think that's a really that's a very it's a very scandalous mindset that people try to play for
Yeah,
trying to take advantage of that.
definitely. Yeah, I agree. That would actually be a good idea, like to come in day of. Yeah, 'cause wasn't the amateurs like that? Like I feel like the amateurs was like that. No, day
Yeah,
of. Yeah.
in New York, you would have to come in day of, because I actually had a friend that did amateur for one fight, and he said, at least in Albany, you fought your opponent's day of, and I think in nationals they do the same thing. You basically weigh in, and then you basically go through all your fights within that day for your tournaments or whatever.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, because these people blow up. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, for certain matchups, I wanted to ask, I want to see you in the ring with certain fighters in your division if it's possible. But here are three names that I got for you, and let me know if it's a possible matchup one day. I want to see you in the ring with Christina Cruz. That's
Mhm.
one. And number two, I want to see you in the ring with who's that one girl? I want to see you in the ring with uh I was gonna say Gabriela Fundora, but I think she's in a different division. And then possibly for number three, if it is possible, I want to see you mix it up with either Rihanna Rios or Adelaida Ruiz.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've sparred like two of those girls. I've sparred like Christina Cruz a while back, like when
Oh,
I was,
nice, nice.
yeah, she's slick. And then I sparred with Cobra, Adelina Ruiz, like a few times. Actually, yeah, back in the day and like recently. Yeah, she is hard. She's a little bigger though. She's at 115, so it's like I would be down. I would be down for whoever. As long as the money's right, you know what I'm saying? Just kidding. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I'm down. I'm down for all those fights. Yeah, that would be cool.
yeah, because I just find it really weird. Like people try to say that the lower weight divisions are doing good in women's boxing, but I don't really think so. Like I think it's just only good in certain, certain spurts. But I think there's such like a lack of trash talking too, because it's like, I just saw that one video with Tiara Brown where she called out like Sky Nicholson and Erica Cruz, and she was on her like Adrian Broner mentality, be like, all these girls are ducking me, blah blah blah, and I'm just like, there needs to be more of that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I think like the entertainment scene needs to be a little bit more feisty.
we're too nice, girls. We're too nice, huh? Like, but yeah, there was the only like I feel like the only trash talking I saw was when there was like Marlene and Sanisa, right? Like that was kind of big.
Yeah, best one ever, best one.
Yeah, that was the best one. Yeah, so far. And then there was Marlene and Baumgartner. That was a lot of trash talking there
Oh,
too.
really?
Yeah, yeah, you gotta go
Wow.
back. That was very like that was a lot too. That was very
Oh,
catty.
Mayor? Like a Mayor and Baumgartner, not Marlon Esparza and Baumgartner?
No, no, Mayor, Michaela Mayer and Alicia Baumgartner.
Yeah,
Watch that.
yeah,
Watch
yeah.
that. The build up to that one was funny. That one was really good.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. That felt like a Kelly Pavlik versus Bernard Hopkins trash talk.
yeah, so and then they might have number two, so the second one might be even better.
Oh,
Hopefully,
yeah, yeah, yeah. The second one's gonna be funny.
yeah.
Um,
But
yeah. I was gonna also ask. Terry Smith has a question for you. Are you ranked in any sanction bodies, or are you going to get up there? Right?
like I have a ABF Continental. I'm ranked in that, but it's not like a WBA or anything like that. But yeah, that one is ranked. That fight was ranked.
Yeah. As far as putting your name, through the rankings, do you just have to beat any woman that's in like a top 25 or at least a top 50?
Um, no, it's just you have to. We have to rack up some more fights, and then you have to get that opportunity to be able to fight. For a world title and or something like that, like a ranked. So it's like it's not really like up to me. Like you know what I'm saying? Like if I wanted to, I can't just go and be like, oh, I want to fight for this, unless they offer it to me. Then so it's not like they want you to have at least like 10 more than 10 fights, I think. I don't know how all that. It's just a lot of politics, like, and it's like they want their like top girl that they're building up to fight somebody that's like beatable and stuff. They don't want the loss, so it's like they're not gonna give me that fight. You know what I'm saying? Like so, yeah.
Yeah, kind
Boxing
of.
is
Yeah.
very yeah. It's just it's political. So
Yeah, that's how I feel against Sky Nicholson and some of these other ladies that just sit inside at the sidelines fighting nobodies.
yeah, for real. Like I feel like the fans are catching up, but I mean, it's just that I'm sure they're good. It's just they're trying to build them up first and then have them fight like some other. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't like wanna. They don't want them to have a loss or anything like hard. But it's like I don't know. That's
Man,
just how it is. The
I'm
promotion.
paying to see some girls get knocked out to get knocked off. I'm not paying to go see some, low level talent get beat up.
Yeah, it's just like the promotions and I don't know. But yeah, I want to be fighting. I mean, the like if they offer me anything, I'm not gonna say no. Like I'm open to opportunities and those big fights. That's what I'm training for. That's how I train. Like to fight. Like I don't want to fight no bum. You know what I'm saying? Like that's only gonna make you worse. The better people you fight, the better you become. So
Nice, it's interesting because you're just like Errol Spence being like, it's big fish season all day.
yeah, yeah. There's no more easy fights.
Yeah.
Like after my first one, I think that was no, yeah, yeah. First, there was a few easy ones actually, like two or three. Hey, but that's not my fault. Yeah.
Um, I was gonna ask, like, as far as like what you're trying to finish off for your boxing career, like, what's the like major influence you're trying to bring to let the fans like on when it's all said and done?
Hmm. Um, I just want to like inspire people to push through whatever they're going through, whether it's boxing or just in general in life. Just um, yeah, of course, like I do want to get those like belts. I want to be a world champion. I want to do that in. I want, like I always say, like I want to make history. Like I want to motivate other women to do more combat sports or to stand up for themselves and to not like think that age, like let's say like I didn't start early. I started when I was 23. Like but it's like you could still do it. Age isn't like a number to hold you back, or if you have dreams, like go after them. Like I just want to motivate people and inspire people and just be like a good role model or a good example for other people, women and men. Just work hard, that's all. Like work hard and go after your dreams and push through no matter what, because like I've already had so many like setbacks that like should have like held me back and or should have stopped me already. But like nothing should ever like stop you from what you want to do, and anything that you do want to do, it's not going to be easy, and there is going to be a lot of roadblocks and things that are going to try to like stop you, and it might seem like impossible to like do or to, but I feel like you should always believe and never like lose hope.
Yeah, some interesting words there. I hope you succeed. I'm definitely looking forward to the next fight. Hopefully, if you could, please come down to Florida. I will definitely show up in the Tampa region. I am going to Miami for my birthday for a fight to support another female fighter by the name of Aaliyah Carranza. Should be. I think she's fighting at the Mikosuke Indian Gaming Resort out there. But yeah, like I'll be going there.
That's
You know, but yeah, if you could please, please come down to Florida region because
yeah,
I'll
for
be
sure.
cool.
If I have fights, I will. Sometimes they do have the fights over there in Tampa, so if I get that, for sure I'll take it. And yeah, and thank you so much for the interview, and it was a pleasure talking to you. I hope you have a happy birthday.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I also wanted to just ask one more question. As far as like venues go for boxing, like what's at the major venues that in your perfect world that you would want to fight at one day?
Probably Las Vegas, New York, the Times Square. Um, I would want to fight here in LA at the Staples Center. I forget, now it's a new name. What was it called? I
Oh,
forgot.
the crypto like arena,
Yeah,
right?
the crypto arena. That would be cool.
Yes.
I was just there watching a basketball game, and I saw like a fight there too. But yeah, Vegas, New York. So it was a dream to fight in like Dubai and then in London next. That's cool too. And I also want to fight in like Thailand and places like that too. And maybe even my homeland, Armenia. That would be cool. It's kind of random, but that would be
Oh,
awesome.
nice, nice, nice. Yeah, that would be epic. I would definitely like to tune in for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I appreciate your time and you're more than welcome to come through again if you want to chop it up again. And I will be, you know, trying to help out as best as I could.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It was a pleasure.
All right. Thank you very much and have a good day.
Bye, too. Thank you.
See ya. Um, all right, y'all. That's about it. I appreciate you guys for coming through. Shout out to Agnesa KiraKosian. Very, very good fighter. Extremely good talent. Hopefully she can make it up there to the world title stage and definitely make some noise. So thank you, Agnes, for coming through. And yeah, be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe. Y'all know what it is. It's KRAS7435. And salute to the mighty, mighty LDBC. Peace, love, liberty, happiness, and freedom. I'll see you guys later. Here's the outro. And peace to my corners and peace to my homies. Peace out to everybody. Here's the outro, y'all. Bye.